Hello, everyone. This is actually my first time going live. So I think actually, I wouldn't say it's my first time going live, but actually, yeah, it's like my second or third time going live. I think the very first time I went live, I was in my bedroom and the internet was very shoddy and it was very, very hot. So people could see me and then I think nobody could hear me, and that was just, like, so funny that, like, absolutely nobody could hear me. So, like, going live didn't make a whole lot of sense, and I think the second time I went live, I think it was kinda similar. Um, but welcome to my very first live. When you get in, please type, like, where you're from, what city you'll be watching from. Um, I just thought I'd pop on because for the very first time in my new normal, I am home alone. And the funniest thing is, I love it. Like, I just love being home alone. Um, yeah, I'm just one of those people that just loves home alone. Um, yeah. Like, I just love the fact that it's all quiet outside. There's not a lot of traffic going by. Um, a lot of people have gone home because it's a break. Um, and it's cold and it's dark. And Halloween is like right around the corner. And so there's decorations up and people are like planning parties. And I think that's really cool. I think I heard people talking about like their costumes and what they're going to wear. And also hearing about the No Kings protests and them all people getting dressed in costumes to, I think, protect the identities of people in the protest, which I think is a very, very good thing. And it was a very creative idea. Like I hadn't thought about that. Like um, using costumes to protect protesters, right? Because there's a lot going on politically, and so that was like a really, really cool idea. Whoever came up with that did a really good job of doing that. Like I really, really enjoyed that. Um, so yeah, totally enjoy that. Halloween, growing up as a kid, my parents are very religious. So did we do Halloween? Kind of yes and kind of no. Um, it is not a religious holiday. It is not looked at positively. So there was a little like little gray area. And within our community, which had people we trusted, and there were other religious people within our community, we would go out in the daytime and do it. Loved it at school because when we were at school, like we would exchange like kids would go out and buy like we would go out and buy like the little bags, with like the little, you guys know the little Halloween bags growing up. I'm 48 years old. So I was born in 1977. So I'm pretty sure a lot of you are just as old as I am. And so, you get to school and you have, your friends, you go from like class to class. And I remember I think it was like maybe 5th grade, it was Mrs. Matthews' class, and so we would all bring in our little orange basket or whatever bag that we had, and we would, like, put it on our desks, and we would, like, go to other classes or I think hold on, we went to okay, so we came when we came in, Mrs. Matthews would give us a hug, and she would ask us how our day was, and she would help us get out of our coats and stuff like that, and she would kinda, like, inspect us, like, clothes, are we clean? Do we smell clean? Do we look clean? How do we feel? Mrs. Matthews was a dynamic teacher, like, you know just thinking back on those days of Mrs. Matthews, they were very precious days. Like, she wasn't just our teacher, she was our mom, you know? Growing up as a kid, like, I never really I always tell people I never had teachers, I always had moms. They were all of them were very loving and very kind and very dotting. Mrs. Matthews would come to school with like clothes, shoes, toiletries, like all kinds of stuff for us, you know. And um yeah, so we would come in because see, Mrs. Matthews was our reading and comprehension teacher. She was our reading and comprehension teacher. So we would go come in, go to breakfast. I actually was in the office, so my breakfast was different. I didn't eat the school lunch. Um, there were people within the principal's office that used to like bring stuff for me. So I had like sometimes I would get like pancakes, sometimes I would get like waffles. Um, I always got like really cool things that people would make for breakfast. So I just really had that. And then I would, come upstairs and get into the line with all the other kids. She would help us take off our coats and help us take off our scarves and our hats, and she would inspect us, and we would go inside and we would put our coats in our cubbies with our bags, and we would get our books and our journals and our pencil cases out, and we would just like set them down, and we would also put our bag down for Halloween. And then we would go, I forget where we would go. I think we would go to the library. We'd go to the library, and even though we had our own book that we were reading in class for reading comprehension, we would always get like another book that would like complement that book. So we'd go to the library and we'd sit around a table, and sometimes the principal would meet us, or sometimes the vice principal would meet us, or sometimes there was another reading teacher there. She would be there, and we would like sit around a table, or sometimes I would sit in the nice, it was a really nice like armchair. It was like green, and it had like there was like a teddy on it, and there was a nice comfortable cushion. Loved it. Nice comfortable cushion. I would sit there near the window where, you could see the leaves changing and the wind blowing and all the traffic, and all of the kids who were driven to school in cars, and I could see like the houses and the park in the grass, and all those things. The school that I went to was in like a what would be like an Eastern European neighborhood in America, and people that were very nice. And so while we were away, the other classes would put stuff in our bags. So we would come back, and then we would find stuff in our bags, and then the other classes would go reading, and we would put stuff in their bags, and that was just the coolest thing. That was just so cool. There was like I remember like the day after Halloween, kids would come back and they would have like tons of candy, right? There was always those kids that like they always had tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of candy. Um, and I would, like some people would be jealous. I would be just a little jealous, just a little jealous. And those were like much better times growing up as a kid. Like they were just much better times. I mean, to be quite frank with you, um, never had to think about people trying to put poison or try to stick like weapons or blades or like anything, all that kind of stuff into the candy. Um, Sometimes we get apples. I remember one time I got an apple. I wasn't allowed to eat it though because you can put things in apples. You can puncture an apple, right? And you can put things in it. And so if when you turn the apple over on the bottom of it, like you could easily like stick something, a syringe or something in there. So my parents really didn't allow us to eat certain kinds of fruits that we would get from Halloween. You know what else I loved? My parents would pray over our candy, right? They would just love that. They would just pray over our candy. Um, And I really, really appreciated that. I appreciate it now, but when I was growing up, you sitting there and you're you're looking at all your candy and your parents are praying over your candy and you're like, "What's going on?" Right? You just wanna eat it. And I'm very grateful that, like, our parents will put the candy up. Like, you know, my teeth are crooked. Alright, they're crooked and they're off-white and they're kind of cavity filled. Um, and yes, I coulda got my teeth fixed when I was younger, but I didn't really feel like wasting my dad's money. I grind my teeth a lot. I grind my teeth in my sleep, so I don't really know, why I do it, but I know that I didn't wanna waste his money, because braces back then cost a lot. I think they're more affordable now. I can still get braces if I want to, but yeah, those were the good old days. But back to being home alone. I really am one of those kinds of people, that I'm not a roommate kind of person. Like, I have to say it's very difficult for me to live with people because I've lived by myself for so long, and I really appreciated it. I think besides growing up with your brothers and sisters, of course, you live with them, that's kinda different, but it's kinda not. They're people that you know because you're related to them, and so, of course, you live with them and that's how it goes. But what about the time I got to college, I remember my very first roommate. I'm not gonna say her name, I'm just gonna call her CJ. She was on the sailing team, and, um, actually, before that, there was a summer program I had to go to, where my roommate was Kim Moore. That's my girl. Kim is the bomb, right? She and my girl Ednisha Salisbury has a LLC called Black Woman Be Whole, um, which you need to check out. And so, I like the way our room was. Her room was the one in front, my room was in the back. Totally love that. Like, it was almost like I didn't have a roommate until, like, she had people over or whatever, but I don't know if she ever had people over. People would be in her room and whatnot and stuff it says, but that was, like, my first real introduction to, like, having to room with someone. I don't remember if that was good or bad. I remember we were very different. Like, my room was very, very organized, and I'm not sure if her room was organized or not. I don't think it was, but that was eye-opening, also sharing a bathroom with people that, for the first time that I didn't know, like, that was kinda interesting. And then once we got to college for real, then I had my roommate, CJ, and, she was on the sailing team, and we kinda, like, set up our room very nicely. Like, we bunked our beds, there was a couch underneath, um, hold on, like, yeah, we bunked our beds. I forget, I just remember a bunk bed, a couch underneath, the television was front here, my desk was near the window, and then we had 2 closets, one here, one back there. It was a pretty cool setup. Um, when she was on a regatta, I would have the room to myself. She was hardly ever there, so I really enjoyed that. Like, I enjoyed, like, her hardly ever being there, right? And that's when I kinda, like, figured out that, like, I'm just not the roommate kinda person. My sophomore year? No, I think that was still my first year. I think she moved out, and then I got another roommate. She was South Korean. We're not gonna talk about her. But it was a very interesting experience. She moved out of, um, CR's room. I think CR and Kim were together, and I think Eddie was maybe down the hall. And so, Yeah, that was a very interesting like, I thought I was helping her out. Hmm, I actually ended up having to leave that room to go somewhere else. Um, and I remember just thinking, "Yeah, I need to be by myself. I need to be alone." Like, I enjoyed my room back home when I finally got my own room, right? Um, I really enjoyed it, being in my own space, having a desk, having a closet, having my own bed, being able to sit in my own energy and just like write poetry and read. Like, I really enjoyed that. Like, I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed that because um I'm a particular kind of person and I enjoy my own company. I love myself, I like myself, I accept myself, I approve of myself. I am one of my biggest fans. I'm just me, go Yolanda, go Yolanda, go Yolanda, right? Like, I'm like my biggest cheerleader, I'm my biggest supporter. I'm in my corner. Like, I just love me to pieces. Like, I just love myself to pieces. Um, and that's just how it is. Like, I just simply love myself to pieces and um love being with me, love being in my own energy, love being in my own space. Um yeah, like, I just have a good love affair with myself, right? Um and I'm very self-aware, you know. So I trust me because I fight for me, because I spend time with me, um going over things that I've said or done or things that I can improve or whatever and whatnot. I just love being accountable and I just love being myself, like, right? Like, just love it. I just absolutely positively just love being myself. My little pony, my little pony. Love My Little Pony. Um, and I just love that about myself, like, um, so yeah. And so traveling the world, I always had my own room. Yeah. Lived in nice hotels, had my own room. Many countries do not have bathtubs. That's the thing that really gets me. Like, I am a bathtub person. Like, I need a bathtub. If you need a bathtub, put your hand up in the chat. But I just need a bathtub. Like, I don't understand, like, why countries there are a lot of countries that just don't have bathtubs. That's like, what? Like, remember being in Senegal, West Africa, um, had a place that didn't have hot water, was not very happy about that. Meanwhile, um, Fat Five Fei had her own shower and she had a little apartment of her own, but she had hot water. And I'm like, we're on the same VLAN. Like, what do you mean that we don't have water? Like, that's just bananas. And so finally we got water. We didn't have a shower. I mean, we didn't have a bathtub. South Korea, I think the hotel I was at in Jeju-do I think it may have had a bathtub. I'm not sure. But it was like, dog, y'all need to get some bathtubs up in this place. Like, what for Guan? Like, what is going on? Like, why are there no bathtubs? Um, Bulgaria. I'm not sure if I had a bathtub or not when I was in Bulgaria. But one thing I did like about South Korea, when I was in South Korea, I didn't have a bathtub. I had a shower. But they do have what's called jimji bongs. And those places have, like, mineral pools. Oh my god, they're amazing. Amazing. Love them, right? And you can spend the night there, and they have, like, a hot water pool, a cold water pool. They have, like, mud pools. They also have, like, wet saunas, dry saunas. They have these baths that you get in, like, when you're sick. Like, it's like a barrel. You get into this barrel. Like the wine barrels, right? It's the wine barrel. Yeah, I think it's, wine barrels. You get inside and, like, whenever I was sick or had a cold, I would go there. In Jeju-do, there was one called Gonggong Nara. Ooh, girl, and you go late at night. You do not go early in the morning, late meaning like 11. From 11 to about like maybe 8 in the morning. 11 to about 8 in the morning, you were fine. Um, just love those. Those were amazing, and like just they were just so cool, like, I really just enjoyed them, like, coming back from one of those was like coming back from, like, the best spa, right? It was, like, the best. I couldn't have asked for anything better. Like, it was just the best. Enjoyed it, and yeah, but no bathtub. Yeah, that just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Like, why you people don't have bathtubs? But that made up for it. Like, if I'm being honest with you, that made up for it. I got my phone here. I'm about to put like my little dust stopper in. Oh, let me see. Phone and then put my desktop. You got to get these. Go on Etsy. I got mine as gifts. This is like a butterfly. Wow. Um, but like, yeah. I don't like it when there's like no bathtubs. Like I don't have a bathtub here. I love bathtubs. I love taking a soak when I was other countries where they have like bathtubs. It just works. I just love that bathtubs. Anyway, what was I saying? So South Korea didn't have bathtub. They didn't have jimji bongs. Bulgaria didn't. I didn't have a bathtub. I don't think I had a bathtub. No, I had a shower in the house. A shower in the house. Um, KSA, I didn't have a bathtub, but I had a really nice apartment. Um, but like, yeah. So I've lived alone. I've lived alone for a very long time, and I think I always knew that I was that person that just needed to live alone. Um, I'm living with athletes. One athlete is hardly ever here. I thank God for that. The other two, um, and so their program is a year. So they'll be gone 2026. And so my program is 2 years. So I graduate in 2027. So, yeah, but it's been challenging. It's very challenging to live with other people. Um I do my best. People don't know this about me. This will probably surprise you. Like, I won't be the type of person that will like say something to you when something goes wrong. I'll just like get quiet. And I know I don't expect you to chase me and talk to me about it. But if it's like a real serious thing and like we've talked about it beforehand and it's a boundary and I've respected your boundaries, but you haven't respected mine, I just stop talking. Um, Not only do I stop talking, I just yeah, I just stop talking, right? Um, I was approached like earlier this week. Um, it's Saturday right now. It's 11 p.m. So I've been on here since about 10. And so I was approached about um this is what she said. You've been off. Mind you, you set off an alarm at 2:30 in the morning cooking a hamburger, which doesn't make sense because we've cooked hamburgers in this house before. The people on the other side of us are elderly. So police, the safety crew, and the ambulance, like, those people are not happy, right? Right? Those people are so not happy with that kind of behavior, and they shouldn't have to be happy with that kind of behavior because let's be quite real, um, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it literally doesn't make any logical sense, right? It makes no sense for you to be um setting off a fire alarm in the middle of the day, in the middle of the night, like, people are sleeping. So, what is that about? Like, it doesn't make a whole lot of logical sense, right? So, I just was like, yeah, that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, yeah, I didn't I didn't really care for that. Um, so and to, she apologized. I'm playing with the background as I'm doing this because I just think it's so cool. So instead of just like kind of coming clean and apologizing, I mean, she apologized. I can't say she didn't apologize, but I just still thought it was a bit weird, to it's just I don't know. I just thought it was just a bit weird. Um, and I wasn't very happy about that. Not only that, but when the so when the security team was here, okay, let's talk. Let's just talk. Let's just be quiet. Let's be frank, right? When the alarm goes off, you're supposed to be outside the building. You're not supposed to be inside the building still cooking because that doesn't make any sense, right? When the fire alarm goes off, you should be outside the building waiting for the firefighters to come, right? She's inside the building. She's still making whatever she's making. And I think when she finishes, she just goes upstairs. The fire alarm is ringing. You should be outside with me and the safety person until the police and the firefighters come. I thought that was a standard. I thought that was given, but I guess it just wasn't. It's not a given, right? And so I'm like, all right, let me. I was like, let me just not. She's half. She's half my age, so there's a lot that isn't understood for whatever reason that it's not understood. But yeah, so right there, I just thought to myself, I can't I can't be on this journey with you, right? I can't be on this journey with you because it's inconsiderate, right? We have made hamburgers before. Now, granted, I wasn't there the first time you made hamburgers, but I doubt the fire alarm went off, right? Now, mind you, I wasn't sleeping, but I could have been sleeping. And mind you, I could have heart problems, right? Because we don't always tell people who we live with everything about us. I had to find out a couple of weeks ago that someone was allergic to hand sanitizer. That person didn't volunteer that information to us. We had to find that out like in the moment when the person next to her was using hand sanitizer and she started just itching herself, right? Because people don't just don't they don't people just don't volunteer information about themselves like that. And I get it. Like I get it. I'm not upset that, she didn't tell us sooner, right? She doesn't really have to tell us sooner. But it would have been nice if we would have known, right? Like, hey, I'm allergic to this, right? It just would have been would have been nice to know, right? And so I was thinking to myself, when you made hamburgers when your team was here, did the alarm go off? And so it was a little suspicious to me because I've also made hamburgers, right? So she apologized for that. Um, but that was just a huge problem, right? Because the people next door to us are older and if I don't know their condition. So that was just like, it's 2:30 in the morning. I realize you've been drinking. I'm not going to judge you for that because that's not how I was raised. But the no consideration for the people who are in the community and close to us, right? They're people with family, babies, all kinds of illness and diseases that we have no knowledge of, right? So there's that. And then you stay in the building preparing your hamburger. Then you come out and you say, "Oh, it's so cold outside." But you don't come outside to join us because that's protocol. You get your hamburger, you make it, you go upstairs to your room while this alarm is going off, right? You guys have heard alarms, right? And I just said to myself, I can't be on this journey with you. Like I just can't. I didn't say it. I just stopped talking. Good morning. And that's it. Cause I'm still sitting here trying to figure out like, I'm still trying to figure out what's going on, right? What is oh, this is nice. What is like what's going on? Like I'm trying to figure out what's going on, right? And then I have to remember she's young. And then I also had to remember that I'm too old for this. I just am. I did a short about it. I'm too old for this. If you would have asked me years ago if it's a good idea for people who from different generations and age groups to live together, of course, because I love my grandmother. My grandmother DB, she was the best. She was an actual she was a fairy. Like the first person in the morning you see and the last person you see at night, I thought she never slept. My grandmother always was cooking. She cooked like she was feeding 10 million people, even though she wasn't, but she was always cooking, right? So And just being around her was just so dope, right? Um, and so but then again, I have to realize too, like I was born in 1977, so I was around people who were either being born or people who were just who had been here. I was like, let me be with the people who are older. I enjoy that because obviously they're wiser and they know more. So, I want to be around people who are wise and, and know more. Like that, that's just how that is. But now that I'm 48, it's like, I don't have time for this. So I'm very grateful for this time to get on my very first official live, where the volume is working. And granted, there's no one here to see it. You'll see it later, right? But talk to me about your journey, right? Like, do you like living alone? Do you like living with people? What was your first living experience outside of your family? What was that like? Was it positive? Was it negative? How old were you? Were you in America? What state were you in? Why were you living with these people? Like, how old were they? Were they your friends? Did they start off as friends? Did you guys become enemies? Did you make up? This situation, I'm just gonna let this play out, right? May 2026, deuces, they gonna be out. So, that's just how that is. It's been nice having this live chat. It's my first one. My next one might be a little bit more structured, but like I really enjoy this. I want to thank all of my subscribers. I think I have 159 subscribers. One more and I'll be 200 and that'll make me happy. I'm happy now with what I have. I'm so grateful for my subscribers. I'm so grateful for the people that watch every day. Like I'm just so grateful. Can't even complain. So just so grateful. Unicorns. Right. Just so grateful. I hope you guys are having a really good Saturday. It's going to be Sunday real soon. So have a great Saturday. Hope you're resting and enjoying your weekend. Tomorrow, y'all gonna be praising God, right? Make sure you wake up early to get your praise in, because when praises go up, blessings come down. If you like this video, subscribe, leave me a comment. I really like it when you guys leave comments, and I really would love for you to watch to the end, get my viewer times up. I really appreciate that. And I'm going to sign off when I usually do if you go back to my couple of videos on my channel, I used to do my intro. I teach, but I'm not a teacher. I profess, but I'm not a professor. I instruct, but I'm not an instructor. In this season, I'm being very, very, what is it? In this season, I'm being very careful with my I am statements. I am present. I didn't say that at the beginning of this video. Sorry. But I will end it how I usually end it. Go to work on time, do your job to the best of your ability, mind your business at all times, and go home to the life that you've been blessed with. It's been a pleasure. Goodbye.